All right, welcome to this rapid fire explainer. Today, we're going to completely crack the code on the top SSC idioms. Look, if you're gearing up for exams like the CGL, CHSL, or MTS, you already know just how absolutely crucial this section is. We've actually built this entire scoring blueprint to fit perfectly right on your phone screen so you can learn on the go.
Let's dive straight into this ultimate scoring blueprint. We've pulled the top 40 idioms that examiners rely on year after year. And hey, this isn't guesswork. This is a purely data-driven strategy. We've grouped them thematically. Why? Because your brain actually retains information so much better in logical chunks, rather than just trying to brute force a massive random list.
All right, kicking off our first sprint. Crisis and conflict. You know, when things just go sideways. You might face a bolt from the blue, which is a total shock, kind of like a sudden resignation at work. Or you might find yourself with your back to the wall, totally trapped in a rough spot with absolutely no escape. Notice how all of these deal with escalating tension? That is, right up until someone decides to add fuel to the fire, or, thankfully, they finally bury the hatchet and make peace. Moving right along to communication and truth. Okay, let's really zero in on play devil's advocate. Examiners love this one. It doesn't mean being evil or malicious, it just means you're arguing the opposite side strictly to test an idea or spark a debate. Contrast that with spill the beans, which is an entirely accidental reveal of a secret. And of course, if someone is dodging the truth completely, well, they're just gonna beat around the bush. Now, when we talk about action and effort, it's really all about extremes. Honestly, you're biting the bullet right now just by bravely facing these difficult exams. And to actually pass, you have to succeed by hook or by crook, meaning you'll achieve victory by literally any means necessary. For you, that means putting in those extra hours to go the extra mile and leaving absolutely no stone unturned in your prep. Oh, animal analogies are huge. They are absolute favorites on the test. Take cast pearls before swine. It perfectly captures that deep frustration of offering valuable advice to someone who just ignores it, like trying to explain a brilliant test strategy to someone who simply doesn't care. Or if you've ever walked into an advanced math class and immediately panicked, you know exactly what it feels like to be a fish out of water in a totally unfamiliar setting. Emotional states are also heavily tested. Think about getting cold feet. It perfectly describes that sudden, awful wave of panic right before an important event, like walking into the exam hall. But hey, remember, every other student in that room is in the same boat, sharing that exact same anxiety. Master these little nuances, and you'll be on cloud 9 when those passing results finally drop. Okay, we've hit the halfway point. Think about your own study routine for a second. You're probably burning the midnight oil, working super late into the night, maybe trying to finish a mock test at the 11th hour, literally the very last possible second before you finally sleep. Because time flies so incredibly fast, you really have to use it well before you can finally call it a day and get some rest. Watch out, because there's a really subtle trap in this success versus failure group. Barking up the wrong tree means you're super confident, but you are pursuing a completely mistaken idea or course of action. It's a classic misdirection. If you do that on the exam, you're going to back the wrong horse, supporting a failing strategy, and eventually, you'll have to face the music and accept the consequences of a bad score. All right, diving into social deception. Keep your eyes peeled for pull the wool over someone's eyes. This one is about intentional, malicious deception to hide the truth. Do not confuse it with pulling someone's leg, which is just harmless teasing or joking around. Let me tell you, examiners will absolutely try to trick you with these two, banking on you mixing up a severe deception with a lighthearted joke. Don't fall for it. In our life and routine chunk, making ends meet is specifically about financial survival on a super tight budget. Contrast that serious tone with kick the bucket, which is a highly informal, almost shockingly casual way to say someone passed away. See, knowing the tone of the phrase is just as important as knowing the definition itself. Anyway, it's almost time to hit the sack on these routine idioms and move to our final sprint. And we've made it to the final sprint. This covers the rare and the exact. Take add insult to injury. It's basically a double hit, like failing a test and then somehow losing your wallet on the walk home. It takes a bad personal situation and makes it so much worse. If you want to ace this section, you can't cut corners by taking the easy way out. You really have to hit the nail on the head with total precision to nail the right answer. Okay, let's pivot. How do you actually secure these marks in the exam room? Well, whatever you do, don't make the rookie mistake of memorizing definitions word for word. Instead, use the pro strategy, spot the answer by feel and natural context. The exam will ask you to choose the correct meaning or fill in a blank. If you practice these idioms in full, natural sentences, your brain will automatically select the option that just sounds right, instead of panicking over tiny variations in a dictionary definition.
Listen closely, because here is the exact trap the exam is going to set for you. They'll drop add fuel to the fire and add insult to injury right next to each other as options for the exact same question. They sound remarkably similar, right? And they both deal with things getting worse. But notice the specific context. One is about worsening a conflict or argument between people, while the other is about worsening a personal misfortune. The examiners are totally relying on you blurring these together, but armed with this, you won't.
Before we wrap up this explainer, I've got a quick challenge for you. Think back over these 40 idioms we just blitzed through. Which one tripped you up the most? Was it the animal analogies, the communication tricks? Identifying your weak spot today is literally the best way to guarantee a higher score tomorrow. Let us know your trickiest idioms, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.